the negatives, instead of negatives, things that we'd like to be better at. And fielding remains our identity, how we go on about our business. So yeah, unfortunately we let ourselves down, but it's another opportunity to showcase our talent and be better, and we'll try and use that to the best of our ability. And do our best to groom them as best we can so that they can take us to the World Cup. We took a lot of criticism for those guys as well, sometimes rightly, sometimes not so. But at the World Cup, I think it was a real eye-opener. For me, it was that in the Super 8, where the world cricket has gone and where Zimbabwe is still stuck to. So we wanted to address that and be better so that we can match the rest of the world as well, so that when the next World Cup. Sir, I wouldn't say that this is the best chance. Any country that comes to Zimbabwe, we feel that we have an equal chance as them to beat them, especially in our home. And that is no exception to India. Whatever the result, we have won games against any country. We are struggling to close out the series. Firstly, sir, I like to leave the conversation with Shreyash private. It happened on the park, it's between two captains. But what I will tell you is that we weren't talking as cricketers. We leave our cricket as Zimbabweans, we leave our cricket on the park, we do the analysis of the game, and after that we are just mere human beings. So this is Shreyash's first time in Zimbabwe. And once you move around and once you spend this week here, you'll find out that Zimbabwe by nature are very hospitable people. So just telling Shreyash about Zimbabwe, about the people, the weather, and as well to see which one's better. But anyways, that's not my domain and I don't like to interfere in other people's domain. But having said that, yes, the last time we met, they won the World Cup. They showed how a World Cup champion team needs to play in T20I is going. We are trying to match those standards. Along the way, we'll make few mistakes. One thing I will say is that the last series we played was our first series after the World Cup. We haven't played any cricket in 5 months. So, it takes a bit of time to get going again. And also, especially when the fact that we feel like from 170 that we are so used to scoring, we need to get into a habit of 180, 190. And sometimes when you're looking for that 150, happen. We play within ourselves a little bit and calculate the game, but sometimes when the big over presents itself, we have to cash in and try and find 2 or 3 big out of 20 overs instead of 1. So there's not too much to do, to be honest. If we find 1 over of 15 out of 20 overs, we just need to find 3 out of 20 now. And that extra 30 runs that you find will take your par scores from 160 to 190, 170 to 200. And if Zimbabwe truly wants to compete with other nations at the world stage for the next World Cup, I can guarantee you the scores are going to be high. And if we up ourselves and confident. So sir, when you have a population of 1.5 billion and where most of the people do play cricket, so when you have these prodigies that comes around that you find and that makes it to the Indian team, you already have a lot of skills because a lot of people are playing cricket in India. So for you to be in the top 50 or 30 or 50 cricketers in the country, that means you're good enough because your pool of players is very big. What remains to be seen is how well he does at international level. Yes, he has done it at the IPL level, which of course when it comes to franchise cricket remains the epitome of it. But sir, international cricket is slightly a different beast. The badge on your chest, the crest on your hat, it adds a lot of pressure and holds a lot of weight. So how he handles that is what he needs to figure out. Our bowling attack is doing well, we will plan, but to plan against Surya Vanshi alone would be, in my opinion, disrespect to the other quality of cricketers that you have, and also will be incomplete preparation from Zimbabwean side, because we're not playing against one Indian. We're playing against 11 Indians tomorrow. And if we are not careful against all those 11, they can take the game away from you. So I always say that I respect every opposition equally, but I trust my boys as a captain should. And I believe the plans we have set and the things we have spoken about. What happens after, happens after. But we have filtered down our plans for every individual. We'll try and do our best to execute that plan and hopefully make this series a very entertaining one. Thanks for sharing our game plan for tomorrow. So there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. I'm not going to tell you how we're going to skin the cat, but you can always upskill yourself by reducing dot balls as well. If Zimbabwe is having 40 dot or 48 dot balls as an average in every T20 game, if we can reduce to 30, that's 18 ones we have capitalized on, and maybe some of them are twos. So there's plenty of different ways to skin a cat. It's not just about hitting boundaries, fours and sixes. There's a lot of ways to get the job done. But thanks for sharing the plan with the Indian boys. To be honest with you, I haven't had the time to look back. But the only time I had was to be grateful. Firstly to God, then to Zimbabwe for the opportunity, and my family for the support, and the fans for accepting me who I am, especially for a guy who wasn't born here. All I can tell you, when I received my debut cap, March 2013, I never thought in my wildest dream that I would be there. It never occurred to me. And when that moment came and it happened, it felt very surreal. In a way, it's good that India is here and it's back-to-back series, because I felt like those moments I needed some time to basically reflect on the journey. In a way, I'm happy I didn't have that time, because it would have been a very emotional time for me. I don't take any cap that I have received for Zimbabwe lightly. Why? Because every cap that I have won and every game I played for Zimbabwe, it's a great reminder of that this country gave me a home, gave me a name, gave me an identity. So every time I walked out, the people have loved me as one of their own. The new generation that's coming in doesn't even know that I wasn't born here. So there's a lot of emotions attached to every time I represent Zimbabwe. And hence, for that reason, I feel that while there's a lot of franchise cricket going on, every time it's an opportunity to represent Zimbabwe, especially in white ball cricket,